anger or malice or even greed to where you would seriously damage another individual. And though the intent may not actually be to kill them, since it's close to or it's an acting in such a way, we even have a crime in our own society which is with the intent to kill. Attempted murder. That you acted in such a way that the things that you did could clearly have killed someone. And so the crime is attempted murder. In Scripture, it was murder in your heart manifested in your actions. And Matthew 7:12 says, "And everything do to others as you would have them do to you." Because this is the whole law and prophets. It's to understand that if you would be malicious to another individual, would you also have them be malicious to you? The ideas of justice are what is good for you is good for me. The idea of politics is now is what is yours is mine and what is mine also. It's no longer an issue of living with the same laws I would pass, but living above the laws which you must live by. The idea of murder is, I want to beat you up, but don't you dare beat me up. I want to be malicious to you, but I will not accept your malice towards me. The idea of justice is what is good for you is good for me. Now, the reason I stress this so much is that we are told to teach our children, to teach our children, to teach our children, to teach our children, to make known to the world these things of God. Because when we have forgotten them, there is an action which we should expect. When we have forgotten the things of God, it tells us that basically we will drift away and become malicious, destructive people. Scripture warns us that way. It actually says, should you no longer have the knowledge of God, you will pursue these evil things. And I'm amazed at that, because that's exactly what I see. The idea of murder that we need to understand is different from the term that is kill. The idea of murder is the intent within us to seek out a malicious act. To hate someone so much that we will conspire, in essence, with ourselves or others to destroy them. The other side of this says that as a society, mankind is responsible for eliminating those that are the very haters in the world. And that begins to kind of shake my foundation a bit. It shakes my world a little bit. Because the idea that there are just means of doing certain things, which we inherently know. The idea of defending my family may result in the death of someone who is trying to hurt my family. The idea of somebody in a war defending themselves or their nation is different than the idea of murder. The idea of somebody in the police department acting in such a way to secure the lives or the livelihood of other people is different than murder. They may act in such a way as to kill another human being. It is not by any definition of Scripture murder. Now, the problem is that I have learned from my world that I must do nothing loud, bold, courageous to speak against my world and to speak against what the world has told me. But according to Scripture, I am to speak up, be loud, and to ensure that justice is being done. I am to shout these things out. We have oftentimes been told by the world, be meek, as though that was mousy. How can Christians speak up and act in such a way? And we have believed it. I have been told that all killing is wrong. Yet today, over 2 million Christians have been killed in this last century alone. More than all of the Christians in 100 years. In 1,000 years that we're aware of. And we look at this and we go, what are we supposed to do? And I'm not advocating any form of militant action, you guys, in the sense of any form of violence. What I'm saying is understand what the words mean. Understand what the term means. Understand what the Scriptures have told us about this. Because we're looking also at the issue of euthanasia. We're looking at abortion. We're looking at a whole series of other things that we are part of today in our culture, and because we do not understand the Word, we are willing to let the world define it for us. I read 5 cases of euthanasia in the Old Testament. Do you know that? 5 cases. Some self-inflicted, and some at the request of others. Saul is in the midst of dying, and he says to his armor bearer, "Stab me! Kill me! End it before the Philistines do." That's euthanasia. How does Scripture deal with that? He's not the only one. There are several others. One guy lights an entire palace on fire because he's losing. Judas hangs himself, you guys. He's a suicide. How does Scripture deal with such things? And I'm not going to resolve them all today. I'm raising it to you because these are the very crimes of today as well. The very call that people will make, Christians and non-Christians both. I am so depressed, so sad, I have no choice but to end my life. What does the Scripture say? Are we people so hopeless as to have no alternative other than to end our life? Is there no hope for the Christian at all? Is there no intervention of God in their lives that they would cling to Him in their time of great depression? As I mentioned, this topic keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm interested in a whole new way. I clearly hope that I don't ever have what I call murderous intent. Murder in my heart. But to see the word so extended into anger that is filled with malice, or anger that is realized in actions, or anger that is basically my refusal to help or aid. Scripture also says that if I am in the midst of my prayers in front of the Lord and I have something, or my brother has something against me, go reconcile before you finish with your relationship with God. So important is this idea. One of the first, what I call violent acts we're introduced to is Cain killing Abel. Out of malice, out of anger. In Leviticus 19, we are given this command. I find it to be a great one. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. Do not do anything that endangers his life. It's kind of a simple thing. Now, Christ takes this idea farther. It's not unique to His sayings because it's actually in the Old Testament as well. But it says basically, do unto others as you would have them do to you. And that's a little bit more than this. It says don't seek revenge as well. Don't bear a grudge against any of the people of God. But to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The idea being not just don't hurt them, but maybe help them. Christ goes on and says even more than that, because He says, live your life to the betterment and benefit of others around you. Pursue good, do good, all that you can. This idea of murder is funny to us because it's way over there. But it really is right here in every decision that we make with every person that we deal with. Do we value them enough to offer part of our life for another human being? Because when we look at the ideal of what it is that Scripture calls for us to be, people that would bring the light and life of Christ into another life, into another human being's world, the idea of murder should never be any part of who we are. And that means including the hatred of another person, malice, working in a slanderous way, speaking bad about another person, refusing them that which is good.